I have to tell you in advance, even
Uh-huh.
though you're probably going to have Christmas in January, because you know how I am.
Right. No, that's
Um,
fine.
Lynx has been stealing the cat toys for the boys off the kitchen table.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you that Salem has tested the toys that I'm sending to you? He
They're
put them in his mouth to make sure that it's
cat
okay.
approved.
Yeah.
Well, that's great because it's been reciprocated. I
Oh,
find them
good.
throughout the house, and I'm like,
Good.
Lynx, these are not yours, bud.
These are not
They're
yours.
not yours.
No, yeah, I was packing yours up the other night and Salem like was trying to drag it out of the room. I'm like, sir.
I love it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 100th show. I'm Blair.
And I'm Kirsten, and we are
Mediocre content.
And I'd say that is a celebration for the end of the year, really.
Yes.
I mean, we've nailed it.
Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Happy Yule.
Oh.
Happy Hanukkah.
I was gonna say Merry Hanukkah, but then you said
I
Happy
almost
Hanukkah,
said
and I was
Merry
like, oh.
Hanukkah. I almost said it.
Oh, happy season of holidays.
Yes.
It
Happy
is.
season.
It's a very busy one as usual, I'm sure, for many of
Yes.
you. Not so much for me. We're not doing anything but staying at home this year. So
Same.
less travel for me.
Yeah.
Uh
Gonna be good. Gonna be good.
I hope so. I am still not finished with my Christmas shopping. We are a week away, and you know what? That's
Ah,
okay. That's fine.
it is fine. It's no judgment. I just feel bad because like
I mean,
I honestly, in a rare turn of events,
hmm.
I did in fact get all of my Christmas shopping done last week and
Like,
sent out all the packages and paid a small fortune for
yes,
shipping.
for shipping. Yeah, Hawaii issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. It's good though. Some would say, Blair, why didn't you just order all your gifts from Amazon? And I'm going to tell
Mm-hmm.
you right now,
Mm-hmm.
I like to buy things in person. It's
Yes.
just who I am as a person.
Love a good
I
shopping
don't know
trip.
what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people also like to get the Hawaii treats. I can't just order
Yeah.
them on Amazon. You have to get them in Hawaii and then send them.
No, that's
So,
fair. Yeah. I mean, I'm also one of those people. Like, if you request a gift card from me, I will consider it. But the reality is, I'm probably doing a lot of personal gift shopping.
hmm
I'm not
hmm
someone that's just like, I'll just give everybody a gift card and call it done. Because I guess that's maybe my love language. I love gift giving. That's my favorite.
She does. She's
Um,
very good at gift giving.
I don't know if I'm good at it, but I definitely enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether the person on the other end is like, yes, I don't know, but I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note,
Hmm.
unrelated to this topic that we're talking about, what is your favorite Disney character again? I need to know for research purposes.
I don't know if I have one, is the problem.
Hmm.
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 Because I love Disney. No, that's a tough question. Now you've put me on the spot.
Did you say no? But I've heard you say like Aristocats like is one of your
Aristocats are
favorite
dope.
movies.
Yes. I can say that Aristocats was our favorite.
So that would be
Oh no. I'm like, I don't know if I'm glitching or you're
oh
glitching, but there's
no.
a glitch happening.
Oh no. It says my internet connection is unstable.
Just
We'll
like my
see how
mental
it
state.
goes. Great. Great. It wouldn't be a mediocre content 100th episode special if our internet was regular.
We just got finished talking too like weeks ago about how we needed to like dispose of the Blair's crappy Wi-Fi
I
ad.
know.
Guess it's here to stay,
It's
people.
been acting up today though. Like when I was on the phone with someone earlier, like
Yeah.
it dropped our call like a few times. So,
The internet in general has been weird. I think it's just because everybody's using it for probably gift searching. It's like so close
yeah.
to like Christmas and everything.
Yeah, maybe there's higher traffic.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so to answer your question though, yes, Aristocats growing up, that was my jam. Um, I don't even really have. I mean, I love Cinderella stories, but I would not necessarily say Cinderella is my favorite
Yeah.
princess.
Yeah, Cinderella She's the
Yeah.
easy choice, but not my favorite choice.
Right. If you ask me which Disney movies made me cry the most often, it
Oh,
is
geez.
by far Encanto and Moana. Um, but those are obviously a little more
Hmm.
recent. So yeah, I'm
Have you
really
seen the second one?
no. Have you?
Neither have I.
Yeah.
No, not yet. I would say Inside Out and
That's a good one. Oh,
Up makes
take
me
her
cry.
take her to the moon for me. Gets
Mm,
me every
every
time.
time.
Actually, okay. The other one that is not Disney, and I always forget. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna have to look it up. Um, it's typing. Oh, it's Over the Moon, which was on Netflix, I believe,
Animated?
animated.
Okay.
And it's I'm not going to spoil anything other than it's like a little girl who tries to go to the moon to talk to the moon goddess for help back at home.
Okay.
And when I tell you that the second half of this movie has me sobbing, it is so random. I just
Mm.
on a whim one day I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie, and it is
Hmm.
so good
Hmm.
and literally killed me.
The way I have experienced similar feelings
Yes.
with the second Frozen.
Yes, it was
Hmm.
so good.
Every time.
So many tears though.
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I also
Also,
yeah.
Wild Robot, Chris can attest, I was
Is it
sobbing
good?
the entire time.
Oh,
It's so good. No,
yeah.
it's so beautiful, and
Mm-hmm.
like the animation is beautiful,
I
the
bet.
story is beautiful, everything is so good, but I was a mess.
I bet. No, I don't know what has happened. I've always been kind of a crybaby, but honestly, since like age 25 to where I'm at now,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have just been sob fest for every movie.
No, I used to brag that I never cried at
And
movies,
now,
and now here
look
I
at us.
am. The slightest like cute commercial, I'm
Full
like
tears.
sobbing.
Yes.
Full tears. I don't know what it is. I
Mhm.
read somewhere that like that means that your mental health is actually like improving and and like
What?
doing better. I don't know,
Really?
because you're like so open with your emotions, like you're
Ah,
comfortable where you
okay.
are. I
That's
guess I don't
nice. I thought maybe it meant I had more
know.
anxiety and depression.
Right. No, that's kind of what I thought, but like, I don't know.
Unstable.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is that today is our 100th episode, but also the other good news is I don't have good news because Blair has so beautifully curated for us 100 plus 1 facts for our 100th episode, and that
Hmm.
is quite the feat. You guys know we're yap-tastic, so I figured probably not room for good news today.
Yeah. So, and also just to like honor Kirsten Science Corner. These facts
Yes.
are from the BBC Science Focus article
Oh,
that I found.
okay. Very
So these are
fun.
going to be very like a variety of topics, obviously,
Sure.
but they're definitely like science focused.
Oh, that's amazing. Are we
Mhm.
I so listener, if you could just like tune us out for just 1 second. We're gonna talk professionally 1 second. Yep, just give us
Yeah.
1 second. How would
Okay.
you like to do this?
Great
Would you like to
question.
switch back and forth?
Great
What do
question.
you
I
want
would
to
love to tell
do?
you. Why don't we can switch back and forth? I think that would be fun.
Okay, great.
Um, yeah. And then that way
Okay.
we both just have to say 50 things instead of one of us saying 100 things.
No, that's totally fair. Okay, listener, thanks so much for giving us the break. You come on back
Yeah.
now. Come on
Sidebar.
back. Sidebar. Okay, that's great. No, that's fantastic. And we'll definitely take that professional conversation out of the pod. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do
No,
that. It's too
that's
much
too much
editing.
work. Yeah. All right. So obviously before we get started,
Oh
like
yes.
do
Mm-hmm.
what you would normally do when you listen to us.
It's true. Do what you would normally do and ignore Blair's crappy Wi-Fi as we start the episode. This is gonna be fun. It was my mic last time, and now it's her internet. So we're doing batting 100, everybody. Welcome back.
So I think Spectrum just like crapped out for a second. Like our internet provider just like, psh.
Love that.
And so now we're back. For how long? Unclear.
That's totally acceptable.
But like the whole router and everything was just like, we don't know.
That's a great question, girl. We would love to know also.
We would love to know. So yeah. Anyway, Jinx has stayed calm through the whole thing though, and he is on the floor resting now.
He is carrying this podcast.
He is on his little shoulders.
I literally ended it as soon as you blipped out, and I was just like, at least my mic is working this time. So far.
All right. Okay. So let's actually do something, shall we?
Now that we're all back together.
Now that we're all back together, we'll have our thinking caps on.
Woo! Onward and upward.
We're just gonna start off with the first fun fact.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. A cloud weighs around 1 million tons. A cloud typically has a volume of around 1 kilometer cubed and kilometer.
Kilogram? Oh, this is 1 kilo. Oh, I see what you're saying.
1 kilometer cubed and a density of around 1.003 kilograms per meters cubed. That's a density that's around 0.4% lower than the air surrounding it. And that's how they're able to float.
You made me think about the guy that used to go around and ask people like trick questions. And I don't know if it was clouds that he was comparing it to or feathers. I think it was probably feathers. But he's just like, what weighs more, a pound of rocks or a pound of feathers? And everyone's just like, rocks, like a pound of rocks. I'm like,
yeah, they're the same weight,
but they're the same weight.
Same weight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they are equal.
Equal. Yeah.
For some reason, this has jogged my brain with that.
Yes. Yes.
Clouds are freaking heavy.
They are. Well, not as heavy as air.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Air. Tell me how I'm supposed to pay with
no air.
Just suck in the clouds. It's fine.
A vibe.
Okay. The other thing that's a vibe are apparently giraffes, who are 30 times more likely to get hit by lightning than people, which makes a lot of sense to me.
Because they're so tall.
There are only 5 well-documented fatal lightning strikes on giraffes, which is so randomly calculated.
What a wild thing to study.
Like between 1996 and 2010, they were like, no, we need to get data on this right now, stats.
Yeah, we need to protect the giraffes from the lightning.
But due to the population of the species being around 140,000 during the time, it makes for about 0.003 lightning deaths per 1,000 giraffes each year. This is 30 times the equivalent fatality rate for humans because we're shorter than giraffes.
Correct.
And if you don't know that, this is why you shouldn't stand out in a field with nothing around you. Or if you just have like a tree or something tall next to you during a thunderstorm, don't stand near that thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Side note, this is also incredibly low for giraffes, but it's just more because they're more likely because they're tall.
Yes.
So it's not like giraffes be out here getting struck by lightning all the time, because if that were true, then we'd have bigger problems.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of giraffes going, not again.
Identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. You can't blame your crimes on your twin after all.
Who is doing that?
This is because environmental factors during development in the womb, which those environmental factors can include umbilical cord length, positioning, the rate of finger growth, impact your fingerprint.
Nice.
So that's fun.
That's very fun.
In case you were wondering and have an identical twin
that you want to blame a crime on.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I like how this fact goes straight to crime. Like they're like, we know you're trying to frame them, but you can't.
Right. You can't.
Okay, number 4, Earth's rotate, which I'm so glad I got this one. This is
I'm
easy.
I know you are.
Earth's rotation is changing speed, which I actually think we've talked about
We have.
maybe briefly before.
Mm-hmm.
And we are actually slowing down. This means that on average, the length of a day increases by around 1.8 seconds per century. So don't think it's like, tomorrow you're now at a standstill.
Right.
600 million years ago, a day lasted just 21 hours. So also, that means this is not uncommon. This is not something that's crazy. Also, in case you want to have another existential crisis, our axes are about to switch. Enjoy that. I'm going to drop that in your lap. Feel free to look it up.
Thank you, Kirsten, as always. We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. So your brain is constantly eating itself. This is a process called phagocytosis, where cells envelop and consume smaller cells or molecules to remove them from your system. Don't worry, phagocytosis isn't harmful, but it actually helps preserve your gray matter.
Don't talk
And
about
this
my gray
happens
matter.
all throughout your body. Okay, I will, and it's fine. And it's just the way that cells like handle it. Like if you have a cell that is not formed correctly, or your body's like, this one's not going to work for us, then your body, the cells in your body that are healthy, just like take that bad cell and get it out of here.
They got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nurse Blair.
You're welcome.
I like that one. The largest piece of fossilized right. The largest piece of fossilized dinosaur poo discovered is over 30 centimeters long. What a log. And over 2 liters in volume. I don't know what they ate. It's very dense. This is so wonderful because it's also presumed that this particular turd is through Tyrannosaurus rex buttholes. And the fossilized dung, also named coprolite, is helping scientists better understand what the dinosaur ate because for some reason we're really curious about that.
I could think of 1,000 other things I would rather know.
I mean, it could be worse, I guess.
Could be worse.
We dissected owl poo, so
the universe's average color is called cosmic latte.
Oh.
In a 2002 study, astronomers found that the light coming from galaxies averaged into a beige color that's close to white, which honestly, that tracks because if you like put everything together, it's like brown, like all the colors together.
Are you telling me that our universe is a sad beige mom?
It is a sad beige mom. It's millennial beige, if you will.
Tag nabbit. We had so much potential.
I know.
Well, that's depressing.
It is a little bit. But also cosmic latte sounds great.
I was going to say that we should make that a drink.
Literally.
Animals can experience time differently from humans, which is fun. For smaller animals, the world around them moves more slowly compared to humans. Salamanders and lizards, for example, experience time more slowly than cats and dogs, which is great for them, I guess. I don't know. This is because the perception of time depends on how quickly the brain can process incoming information. So what it really means is they got smooth brains.
Imagine being so dumb that time is different than you.
Did you just call the whole lizard race stupid?
I did.
Ouch.
It's fine.
My cats experience time differently than me too. That's why they think it's food time at 4 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. We're currently having that problem. Salem has not adjusted to his food.
I mean, they don't know what daylight savings time is. Or the opposite of that.
Look, I don't even want to talk about it. He's keeping us up way too much at night.
Fair enough.
Okay. Water might not be wet. This is because most scientists define wetness as a liquid's ability to maintain contact with a solid surface, meaning that water itself is not wet, but it can make other objects wet.
I have heard this debate, and it was the thing that went on TikTok forever. And my logic was,
yeah.
that water itself can turn to ice, though. So if it's in contact with its solid form, does that mean the ice is wet, or does that mean the water is wet?
So if you put like ice in a glass, you're saying
Right.
that means the ice is wet
But it's on a
because
solid surface of itself.
well, because ice is a different form of water. So it's
Yeah.
a structure,
I hate
in my
this.
opinion.
I hate this one.
I've also heard, and this one really trips me out, humans cannot differentiate between what is wet and what is cold.
Oh, jeez. So, like
Because
when you're in a
um
rainstorm.
yeah. Also, my internet is unstable once again, so we'll see how this goes.
That's great.
Um, but like apparently because your hands or like your skin is only picking up on the change in temperature as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
like the actual state of matter that
Mm,
you the reason why you know that it's wet is because it's different than the temperature of the rest of the object.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ugh,
fun fact for
sensations.
everyone involved. Okay.
Gross. Let's talk about
Your
chickens.
turn. Your turn.
Get me out of the water. A chicken once lived for 18 months without a head, which is
Oh
very
no.
oh
Oh no.
no.
Oh no.
Specifically his name was Mike, if you want to put a name. The chicken's incredible feat was recorded back in the 1940s in the United States, of course. He survived as his jugular vein and most of his brainstem were still kind of intact, which is great for him, ensuring that just enough brain function remained for that survival. And in the majority of cases, a headless chicken dies in a matter of minutes, obviously. And that makes me think of is running around like a headless chicken, Maurice, or something like that. It's like King Julian's quote.
I hate this fact. I
Yeah.
don't no. No.
Okay. Okay.
Just no.
Well, you gave
All
me
right.
the wet fact. I provide you the chicken fact.
Yeah, we don't no.
No.
All right. All the world's bacteria stacked on top of each other would stretch for 1 billion light years,
Ew.
10 billion light years. Together, Earth's 0.001 millimeter long microbes could wrap around the Milky Way over 20,000 times.
Also, ew.
We love microbes. They are very helpful in many ways, but
Except for
also terrible in a lot of ways too.
we don't like extremophiles. They're interesting but horrifying.
Well, yeah, but then there's also like bacteria,
For
which is
sure.
not like the most fun
No.
for us in our immune systems.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there's good bacteria, but there's like
You're right.
sad bacteria.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Viruses.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah.
Nope.
Anyway,
Wearing a tie can reduce blood flow to the brain by 7.5%, which I think is why CEOs and people that are in suits all the time have a hard time scheduling meetings that can be emails. And that's my opinion.
you know what? I love that. That's a great theory.
Just make it an email, please.
That's right.
Um,
Right.
the reason we know this is because there was a study in 2018 that found that specifically wearing a necktie, doesn't matter if it's a tie or a bow tie you choose, can reduce the blood flow to your brain by that 7.5%, which can make you feel dizzy, nauseous, and cause headaches. So stop tying it so tight. Doesn't have to be that tight. They can also increase the pressure in your eyes if they're on too tight, and they are great at carrying germs because you're constantly touching your tie, I
Mm.
guess, and you're like wiggling it around or you're loosening it because you're part of book talk. I don't know about you. But also, I imagine the added piece here is usually when you wear a tie, you're also wearing like a dress shirt buttoned up all the way. So you're just adding extra pressure probably to
Yep.
that general area as well. You don't
Right.
need to tie it so tight, guys.
I personally, I don't think you need a tie at all.
Loosen up. Yeah,
Yeah.
pop the tie off, pop a button. I think you look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The fear of long words is called
The longest word in the century.
the fear of long words is called hippopotamostressiquipedalphobia.
Nailed it.
Thank you. The 36 letter word was first used by the Roman poet Horace in the first century BCE to criticize those writers with an unreasonable penchant for long words. It was American poet Amy Nezekumatalthil.
Sure.
Sorry, Amy. Possibly afraid of their own surname, who coined the term "how we know it" in 2000.
Like that the fear of long words is a long word.
I It's unnecessary.
It
It's
is unnecessary.
unnecessary.
The other thing that is less unnecessary and more amazing is that the world's oldest dog lived to be 29 and a half years old. I think that's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Um, the median age for a dog is usually 10 to 15 years, but ironically, one Australian cattle dog named Bluey, so cute,
Mm.
survived until the ripe old age of 29 and a half. He
I
almost made it to
wonder
30.
I wonder if that's where they got the inspiration for Bluey the cartoon.
Isn't Bluey an Australian cattle dog
Yeah.
anyway? Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. I don't know. Bluey, let us know.
All right. So on the other side, the world's oldest cat lived to 38 years. Take
Wow.
that, dogs. Um, and 38 years and 3 days old. Cream
Wow.
Puff.
We go from like, oh, Bluey to Cream
Cream
Puff, who is ancient artifact at this point. Oh.
Puff expired. Was the oldest cat to ever live.
You didn't have to
Also,
call it
like
like it
that
was a
is
can of
such
tuna.
that is such cat owner
Oh
coded.
yeah.
Like, oh my God. That's
Absolutely. Yeah, old
every
Cream Puff was like
yeah.
58 when she
Yeah.
finally kicked the can. I love that. That's
Oh
fantastic.
my God. Okay.
Okay, back to existential crises. The sun makes
Oh God.
sounds apparently, but we can't hear it. This is in the form of pressure waves. The wavelength of the pressure waves from the sun is measured in hundreds of miles. However, meaning that they are far beyond the range of human hearing, but that does not stop us from recording it because I can tell you with great certainty if you Google sun sounds, well, I don't know if that specifically will take you where you want to go, but you might be able to Google sun sounds and find a clip of what the sun sounds
You
like. It's
just get
actually
the
very
baby
haunting.
from Teletubbies.
And then you get nightmares for the rest of your life.
That sounds awful. I will not be YouTubing that.
Okay.
Mount Everest isn't the tallest mountain on Earth. Shocker.
Woo.
Um, Mauna Kea and Mauna Loa in Hawaii, the twin volcanoes, are taller than Mount Everest due to 4.2 kilometers of their heights being submerged underwater.
Does that count?
I don't know. The twin volcanoes measure a staggering 10.2 kilometers in total compared to Everest's paltry
Okay.
4.6 kilometers. But like,
You
I don't
can't climb
know.
half of it.
Right. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, okay, but they're volcanic.
Yeah.
So I am assuming climbing those would be kind of. Are they active?
Unclear.
Ah, okay. Well, I mean, Everest is in like the snowy tundra, so that's obviously taken a lot of lives. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like
The Himalayas,
maybe
right?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like maybe climbing a active volcano is probably pretty perilous also.
Well, I guess it really depends on like where you consider the Earth crust to be.
Where's your crust at?
Yeah. So like I would imagine like even the bottom of the ocean floor is
Mhm.
technically the Earth's crust. So like
Yes,
if you're measuring from the Earth's crust, then it counts. But
that's
if
fair.
you're measuring from the Earth that is above water, then it doesn't count.
That's fair. I mean, look at the Mariana Trench. It's like a backwards mountain.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, more
Need some
space.
stitches.
Just fix that right up. The nurse is on it.
Got it.
Our solar system has a wall It's called the heliopause. And this region of space is where the solar wind isn't hot enough to push back the wind of particles coming from distant stars. And it's often considered what's called the boundary wall of the solar system in interstellar space. And all you have to do, if you want to know the different um, regions or rings, I've used rings lightly, but there are similar to like the Earth's crust and the different levels within the Earth, there are different levels within our solar system of areas. And we've talked about some of those.
Yeah. Don't die.
Try it. Anyway.
All right. Octopi don't actually have tentacles. They have 8 limbs, but their arms. Technically, when talking about cephalopods, which are like octopi and squids, scientists define tentacles as limbs with suckers at their end. Octopi arms have suckers down most of their length.
Ew.
Yeah. So
it's like you get the space facts and then you get the wet space facts. I feel like
right.
it's just the ocean is
it's
just
wet space.
Wet
yeah.
space.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now that I've said wet space out loud, I am unsure and unclear if I want to continue using that phrase.
Seems fair.
Okay. Anyway, at least
aquatic space.
That sounds too sciencey. My next phrase was going to be deep wet space, but that sounds worse.
No, no.
Trucking.
No.
Anyway, let's talk about maps. Most maps of the world are wrong. Yay! On most maps, the Mercator projection, first developed in 1569 AO, is still used. This method is wildly inaccurate and makes Alaska appear as large as Brazil and Greenland, 14 times larger than it actually is. So that's exciting. Actually, for a map to be considered accurate, it would have to be life-size and round and obviously not flat. Because the Earth isn't flat. Anyway.
Correct. And that's what globes are for.
That's exactly what globes are for, indeed.
Yes. NASA genuinely faked part of the moon. Okay.
And here we are.
Okay. Well, Neil Armstrong's first steps on the lunar surface were categorically not faked. Okay, thank you for backtracking there. The astronaut quarantine protocol when the astronauts arrived back on Earth was largely just one big show. Oh, okay. Well, so like they did go to the moon and they did step on the moon.
Yes.
But like, I guess there was a second part of the show like later on when they came back.
Sure.
But they didn't quarantine. Which is fine, I guess. Whatever.
Sure. I don't know what they're bringing back from the moon, I guess.
I don't know. Space is a vacuum. Anyway.
Yeah, space is a vacuum and comets smell like rotten eggs, apparently.
That's right. That's right.
The comet smells like rotten eggs, urine, burning matches, and specifically almonds, all together. Traces of hydrogen sulfide, ammonia, sulfur dioxide, and hydrogen cyanide were all found in the makeup of a comet 67P, and the other name that I am definitely not going to try and pronounce. Promotional postcards were even commissioned in 2016 carrying the pungent scent of a comet.
Ew.
Which is like the smell-o-vision you never wanted.
Literally, just go to New York City in the summertime and it smells the same.
It's literally the same effect. You don't need a scratch and sniff for that.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kirsten. Earth's poles are moving.
Woo!
You already hit this one.
I did.
This magnetic reversal of North and South Pole has happened 171 times in the past 71 million years.
So don't panic.
We're overdue for a flip. It could come soon as the North Pole is moving at around 55 kilometers per year and an increase over the 15 kilometer per year up until 1990.
That's fantastic.
So that's exciting.
The whole Earth is doing a kickflip and it's cute.
Cute.
Unfortunately for us, you can actually die laughing. A number of people have, typically due to intense laughter, caused themselves a heart attack or suffocation.
Oh no.
Which is why some comedy shows should come with a warning and others should not, because they're just not funny.
Not to be Debbie Downer here, but also like they probably had some pre-existing They probably had some pre-existing conditions.
Probably. They never say that. Yeah.
That led to said heart attack or suffocation.
It's true.
Um
Yeah.
Anyway, just for the people who are a little bit anxious about that fact.
I mean, in The Sims, you can die from hysterical laughter, but I don't know if that's a good marker for
No.
for real life.
You can also like set babies on fire, I think, in that game.
You
So
cannot.
I don't know.
You need a
Whatever.
mod for that.
Okay.
Anyway,
You want to talk about chains? All right, no, I have to talk about chainsaws.
yeah.
They were first invented for childbirth. Yay, women.
Speaking of babies.
It was developed in Scotland in the late 18th century to help aid and speed up the process of the symphysotomy, which is widening of the pubic cartilage and removal of disease-laden bone during childbirth. It wasn't until the start of the 20th century that we started using chainsaws for wood chopping.
Because that makes way more sense than sawing a person in half.
The way that modern medicine is so much better than what we had before is like
not even so
astronomically
much.
So much better.
That's
like
the word.
I can't express to you the weird like gynecological equipment that they had back in the day. I mean, the gynecological stuff we have now is weird, but like,
yeah, I can't imagine. No thanks.
It's yucky. Anyway,
something else that's yucky and yucky. Blair's favorite thing is ants. But did you know, Blair?
What?
You love
Untrue.
ants.
No, I don't. They just invade my home without my permission.
Well, anyway, they don't have lungs, so that's exciting. Right. They instead breathe through something called spiracles, 9 or 10 tiny openings depending on the species.
Cute.
Yeah, so next time you encounter an ant, just know they're not really breathing through their lungs. They're breathing through their body.
Breathing through your lungs is not breathing through your body?
I mean, my lungs are part of my body, but I'm not breathing through my armpits over here.
That's true. That's true. Can you imagine just like flapping your arms?
Can you? Okay. My brain also just thought about you know how like you burp and stuff? Yeah, it's just like, is a fart a butt breath, you know? Like
a butt burp.
A butt burp. I also understand that burping does not come from your lungs. I just want to be very clear.
Good.
I understand the difference.
There are two tubes. There is the esophagus and the trachea. Okay? Yes. Two tubes.
Two tubes.
All right. The T-Rex likely had feathers, which really just is amazing.
Yes.
Jurassic Park would be a very different movie.
They're so fluffy.
Scientists in China discovered early Cretaceous period Tyrannosaur skeletons that were covered in feathers. If their ancestors of the T-Rex had feathers, the T-Rex probably did too.
And that's why birds are considered to be descendants of dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Birds are weird.
Birds are weird. Football teams wearing red kits play better. The color of your clothes can affect apparently how you're perceived by others and change how you feel. There was a review of football matches in the last 55 years, for example, that showed teams wearing a red kit consistently played better in home matches than teams in any other color.
And by football, they mean soccer, because this is from the BBC. But I feel like it also probably applies to American football as well.
I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs have won 2 years in a row, right?
Precisely.
The Super Bowl? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're, for people who don't know the Chiefs, they're red and gold. So
it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend's team. Okay.
Simone Biles' husband.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Wind turbines kill between 10,000 and 100,000 birds each year in the UK.
Terrible. That's
Interestingly, awful. Painting one of the blades of a wind turbine black can reduce bird deaths by 70%.
Interesting. Probably because they can see it.
Correct. Yep.
Poor birds. I think, Blair, you have actually covered this before in a previous Escargot podcast. But snails have teeth, specifically between 1,000 and 12,000, which is a big range.
That's a
Um,
lot.
they aren't like ours though, so don't think that snails are just like grinning with a full, mouth of human teeth. But you'll find the snail's tiny teeth all over its file like tongue, which is also lovely. And I
Oh,
think you covered as well, if I'm not mistaken.
gross.
Yeah.
Sound can be minus decibels. The quietest place on Earth is Microsoft's ana anechoic chamber in Redmond, Washington, United States, at negative 20.6 decibels.
Jeez.
These chambers are built out of heavy concrete and brick and are mounted on springs to stop vibrations from getting through the floor.
Okay, but did we do this to say that we could, or was there a purpose to these
Right,
things?
that's what I need to know.
Why did we make them? Just,
Yeah,
yeah.
why?
All right.
Also, was it for like torture?
Tell,
Like
give us the plot.
we need more information. All right.
A horse normally has more than 1 horsepower, which just makes me chuckle. A study in 1993 showed that the maximum power a horse can actually produce is 18,000 watts, which is around 24 horsepower. So every time you see a horse, just know there's about 24 packs
24.
behind there.
That's right.
As someone who's been kicked by one, I can say it's probably close to that.
Because it hurt.
It hurt for sure.
Your signature could reveal personality traits. A
Oh,
study in 2016 reports that young men, a larger signature correlates with a higher social
sure.
bravado, and among women, a bigger signature correlates with narcissistic traits.
And I think that's a gender equality issue.
I think so too.
um, 1 in 18 people have a third nipple.
Oh God.
Known as polyphilia, the third nipple is caused by mutation in inactive genes.
Great.
Isn't that Harry?
Harry.
Harry Styles?
Okay, so first of all, no. Second of all, he had a mole on his chest. It is
Sure.
not a nipple.
You can tell me
Okay.
whatever you want to tell me.
Whatever. Okay. All right. Bananas are radioactive due to being rich in potassium. Every banana is actually slightly radioactive, thanks to containing the natural isotope potassium 40. Interestingly, your body contains about 16 milligrams of potassium 40, meaning you're around 280 times more radioactive than that banana. Anyway, any excess potassium 40 you gain from a banana is excreted within a few hours. Also, side note, if if someone is sentenced to death, typically, depending on what state you're in, you get killed because they inject a ridiculous amount of potassium into you and it stops your heart. Because
Horrifying.
potassium is very important with heart function.
Ah.
So we never inject potassium. Period. If you need extra potassium,
Yes.
you can slowly drip it into your body through an IV, but you cannot inject it because then the person will die.
And then we're all an Imagine Dragons song. Radio.
Well, yes.
Yes.
And going to jail, but that's neither here nor there.
Potato, potato. There's also no such thing as a straight line. Zoom is close enough to anything, and you'll spot irregularities in straight lines. Even a laser beam has a slight curve to it.
That's nice.
So you can't say walk a straight line because you're still going to be a little off.
You know what? That's one of those like trippy facts that like nobody cares about.
Honestly, I would gather to say that's all of these if we're just going to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Deaf people are known to use sign language in their sleep.
Whoa.
A case study of a 71-year-old man with rapid eye movement disorder had a severe hearing impairment, showed him using fluent sign language in his sleep, with researchers able to get an idea of what he was dreaming about thanks to those signs. That's really cool.
Actually super cool.
Yeah.
Finland is the happiest country on earth. According to the World Happiness Report, which I didn't know existed until just now, it has been for 6 years in a row. It's not really surprising, apparently, given that Finland is home to Santa Claus, also another happy, jolly guy. It also apparently has reindeer and a sauna for every 1.59 people.
Yes, I actually read a book about this. And it is dark like a lot of the time there in
Yes.
the winter, and you would think everyone there would be miserable and have like seasonal depression, but the way
Sure.
that they've adapted and the way that their culture is,
Hmm.
they are so happy and cozy, and like the way that they live their life in the
Hmm.
winter time specifically
Yeah.
like prevents seasonal depression and like all of these. I don't know. It's really cool. Highly
Hmm.
recommend to read about it because it's interesting.
That might be why Americans have seasonal depression because we don't
That's
get
what I'm,
it, but like a couple
yeah,
months a year, and then
right.
it's back to summertime. So we haven't really like adapted to the change by the time it's
Yeah.
over. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they have daylight savings either over there.
Oh,
So
really?
that
Yeah.
helps, I
Yeah.
think, with in terms of like
Because it's
because it's
consistent.
dark because of how north it is. It's dark
Yes.
most of the time, but like also I think switching an hour forward, an hour back is just like it
Oh,
messes
yeah.
everybody up. Anyway,
Absolutely. Yeah.
hippos can't swim.
Oh.
Hippos have really big bones and they're dense. So they are barely buoyant at all. They don't swim and instead perform a slow motion gallop on the riverbed or on the sea floor. And hippos can even sleep underwater thanks to a built in reflex that allows them to bob up and take a breath and sink back down without waking.
Well, how luxurious.
Yeah.
Still, I'd be careful with hippos in the water.
I
They
don't
are a mess.
really, yeah, we don't like
Mm-mm.
them. Anyway.
The moon looks upside down in the southern hemisphere compared to the northern hemisphere, anyway. This means that the quote, man in the moon is actually upside down in the southern hemisphere and looks more like a rabbit, apparently.
I honestly
Which
have never been to the Southern Hemisphere.
I could say that movie I was talking to you about previously,
Hmm.
it's the it's the emerald rabbit, the green rabbit, or something like that. And
Hmm.
it's in the moon, which is very
Oh,
topical for this fact.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. You can yo-yo in space. In
Okay.
2012, NASA astronaut Don Petit, uh, or Pettit, took a yo-yo on board the International Space Station and demonstrated several tricks. It works because a yo-yo mainly relies on the laws of conservation of angular momentum to perform tricks, which, provided you keep the string taut, apply in microgravity as well.
Whatever fancy words you just said sound great.
Physics, anyway.
Not only plants photosynthesize, SpongeBob does too. No, just kidding. Algae, which are not plants, and some other organisms like sea slugs and pea aphids, which are very cute, contain chlorophyll and can also take sunlight and turn it into an energy source. And one day, so will I. No, I'm just kidding.
You can be heavily pregnant and not realize. Cryptic pregnancies aren't that uncommon, with
Oh my
one in
God.
500 not recognized until at least halfway through, and one in 200 in 2,500 not known until labor starts, which is wild. And I
Horrifying is the
can't
right
believe,
word.
absolutely not.
Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not. Absolutely
Absolutely
not.
not. Gross.
Absolutely
Um,
not.
if you also want another absolutely not, bacteria on your skin is what causes you to be itchy. Specifically, bacteria known as Staphylococcus aureus can release a chemical that activates a protein in our nerves, and it sends a signal from our skin to our brain to be like, ooh, that's itchy. And now I'm
Oh,
worried. Well, this is what's really concerning. Is that when you know how sometimes you get an itch, but it's like inside and you can't actually scratch it?
yes.
Is that like
No,
why
no.
why that bacteria
First,
inside?
all right. First of all, let me just clear something up for everyone.
Okay.
You can have staph. Everyone has staph on them
Yes.
at any time,
Yes.
all the time.
Because we're
The
all
amount of
wizards
microbes that you have on your body right now,
and numerous.
so many.
Mm,
Okay. It is not dangerous to you.
no.
If you have an open wound, that's when
Yes.
it becomes dangerous and weird.
So wash your wounds.
Correct. Hydrogen peroxide is your friend.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm.
That's my soapbox. Like, stop acting like you're not disgusting because we're all
We're
disgusting.
all
Okay.
gross.
We're all gross.
And because of that, wash your sheets, please.
Definitely. Definitely.
That's just another aside. We're all disgusting, and no matter how much you shower before bed, and you should shower before bed, wash your sheets.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's good for
Specifically your
you.
pillow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also you don't want that on your face. Anyway.
Starfish don't have bodies, along with other echinoderms, think sea urchins and sand dollars, which the way that sand dollars are like
Mm-hmm.
fuzzy before
Yeah.
they die, and then their
Mm-hmm.
carcass like shows up on the beach.
Most beautiful carcass.
Gross. It is a beautiful carcass. Possibly the most beautiful carcass.
I would agree.
Their entire bodies are technically classed as heads. So it's just basically a head.
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Okay. Somebody that we're not going to name has been constipated for 45 days. And it's not me or Blair. In 2013, there was an unfortunate Indian woman who had to undergo surgical removal of the fecal mass as large as a football.
Oh no.
So if you haven't pooped in a while, go to the doctor or take something because you need to go poo. Okay, it's a problem. You got to.
They make stool softeners for a reason.
Dulcolax is your friend.
Oh my God.
That's terrible. I can't imagine the pain she was in. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Keep it regular, everyone.
Oh my God. I feel so bad for her. And she's
yeah.
This is like a long time ago.
Yeah,
anyway.
she's fine. She's probably fine.
You travel 2.5 million kilometers a day around the sun without realizing it. The Earth's orbit travels. Kirsten knows. The Earth's orbit travels around 2.5 million kilometers with respect to the sun's center and around 19 million kilometers with respect to the center of the Milky Way. So we are hurtling through space.
We are going at a high rate of speed.
And it's one of those things, it's like, it's like we're so dumb we don't realize it. It's like that.
Gravity helps also.
Gravity does help. You're right.
Gravity's a great source of assistance there.
In our atmosphere, we love.
We don't want to be on one of those rides where the centripetal force just keeps us on the side of the ride.
More than 5Gs we're talking about here.
Jeez, can you imagine? Fish form orderly queues in emergencies. When evacuating through narrow spaces in apparently very sus and sketchy situations, schools, specifically of neon tetrafish, queue so that they don't clog the line. Very smart. Scientists interpreted this behavior as showing that fish can respect social rules even in emergency situations, unlike us humans who can't even go in an orderly fashion out the exit. Okay.
I love the idea that fish are like better at handling emergencies than us.
They're like, no one panic.
It's fine.
Just go in an orderly fashion.
That's right. Oh my gosh. There are more bacterial cells in your body than human cells. See, I told you.
See,
the average human is around 56% bacteria. Oh God. This was discovered in 2016 and it's far less than the earlier estimates of 90%. So we thought that we were 90% bacteria at one point.
50% C, 50% weed.
As bacteria are so light, however, by weight, each person is over 99.7% human.
All right, now I know what to tell my doctor. It's all the bacteria. That's why my weight is fluctuating so much.
It's correct.
I just have an abundance of bacteria.
Just use antibacterial soap. You drop 5 pounds. Anyway.
Just squirt myself
just kidding.
with Perel.
That's not real. Anyway.
That rounds us out.
We're going to take a break and then we'll hit you with 50 more facts that you don't care about.
So everybody go wash your sheets in the meantime and Perel your hands.
Hey, we're the husbands of mediocre content. Bringing you an ad segment that's missing, an ad.
This is a break brought to you by us because we're the only ones crazy enough to sponsor this thing.
If you'd be interested in sponsoring the Mediocre Content Podcast,
and we understand if you aren't,
contact our mediocre wives at mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com.
For now, enjoy this brief break from the podcast before we throw you back into more unimportant,
dare we say, mediocre content.
welcome back.
Yes, indeed. Welcome back.
We're ready to go the rest of the way. We have 51 facts left because we decided to give you a bonus. No, I'm just kidding. That's just the article had anyway.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you hit 101.
All right. So the 50th fact is
Woo!
that most ginger cats are male.
Ugh.
There are roughly 3 ginger male cats to 1 ginger female cat. And this is because the ginger gene is found on the X chromosome, meaning female cats would require 2 copies of that gene in order to become ginger, whilst male only need 1.
Recessive.
And if you did your Punnett square correctly, you would know that.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to that fact, because I
Mhm.
know some other cat things because I am obsessed with cats, as is
Mhm.
Kirsten,
Indeed.
most black cats are male cats.
Mm-hmm.
And calico cats are exclusively girl cats.
Yes. Isn't that
So,
great? I
If
love
you're
that.
if you're looking for a particular gender and you see one on the side of the road, that might help you.
Distributions.
That's right.
Your nails grow faster in hot summer, probably due to increased blood supply to your fingertips because it's not cold like the icy winter that is currently now in the woman's winter in the summer.
First of all, someone is bitter.
It's just the winter. It could also be because you're less stressed while on holiday, so less likely to gnaw away at your fingertips, which please do not get bum worms. Butt worms. Do you remember that TikTok lady?
No.
Pinworms. Okay, great. Here's what you need to know. Here's an additional fast fact that you did not ask for. If you are a nail biter, this may help you stop because the more that you bite your nails, the more chance you have for pinworms, which live in your butt and can be accessed through bacteria under your nails. You're
Okay.
welcome. Don't bite your nails.
Yes, Mom.
Unless you want pinworms.
Okay.
You have to look up her. She's fantastic. Anyway.
Insects can fly up to 3.25 kilometers above sea level at least.
Hate that.
Alpine bumblebees have been found living as high up to 3.25 kilometers above sea level and could even fly in lab conditions that replicate the air density and oxygen levels at 9 kilometers. That's just higher than Mount Everest casually.
It's just fine.
It's fine.
Bees were climbing Mount Everest before we were. That's the
right.
most the saddest fact we have. There is a planet mostly made from diamonds. Isn't that great?
I love that.
Called 55 Cancri. It's around twice the size of Earth and some 40 light years away from us within the Cancer constellation. Just very good. So also don't
Of course it is.
I mean, what's more Cancer than a planet of diamonds?
So delicate. So
delicate.
fragile.
Ironically, one of the hardest stones ever.
You're right.
The hardest to crack.
Animals can be allergic to humans.
I'm allergic to humans too. It's fine.
Take that. Animals can be allergic to our dead skin cells. So our dander.
Ew.
Yeah, we have dander too. Believe it or
not
not.
Our saliva, because we don't lick ourselves. Well, you don't lick ourselves.
We listen and we don't judge.
Gross.
These allergic reactions can be just like ours, including breathing difficulties and skin irritation. So if your pet looks like it's having allergies, it might be allergic to you.
It's definitely you.
Yeah. And not the outdoors.
Not at all. I don't know if you just heard Tyler belch in the background, but it was really loud. Sorry.
Tyler!
And it didn't come out of his lungs. It came out of his stomach.
Good job, Kirsten. So proud.
You. Being bored is actually high arousal state physiologically, which none of us really needed to know. This is because when you're bored, apparently your heart rate increases, and I would have thought the opposite. And I don't want to talk about this fact anymore.
Okay. Platypuses sweat milk.
Talk about this one either.
This is because they don't have teats. Milk
I am all of 5 years old. Anyway.
Milk appears as sweat on platypi, but it is an aquatic mammal, so it doesn't actually sweat at all.
Why do I need this fact? They're sweaty because they're bored.
because they have nowhere else to put their milk.
I guess, sure. Okay. Just put it in your pockets next time. All right. Lego bricks withstand compression better than concrete, which is why it's super ouchies when you step on one. An ordinary plastic Lego brick is capable of supporting the weight of 375,000 other bricks before it falls. This is theoretically means that you would be able to build a tower nearing 3.5 kilometers in height. Scaling this up to house-sized bricks, however, would of course cost far too much because Legos are so expensive.
You're so right. Martial artists who smile before the start of their match are more likely to lose.
Because they smug as a bug in a rug.
This could be as a smile can convey fear or submissiveness.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
I'm going to start baring my teeth at people. Take that, submission. Anyway. It's like when isn't it like monkeys that like they're not smiling at you. They're would really appreciate it if you go away, and I'm gonna start doing that. Yes. Any moment.
I'm gonna start baring my teeth at people. As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact, I will.
I'm like, okay. Great. He's good.
Out. It's fine.
All right.
It's almost impossible to get too much sugar from fresh fruit, so just eat the fruit. While the sugar in the fruit is mostly fructose and glucose, fructose is what's converted into fat in your body. You can't get too much sugar from fresh fruit. It contains a lot of fiber and water, which slows down your digestion and makes you feel full and also helps you poo.
Yeah.
And you don't want a football-sized poo in your tummy, so please eat the fruit.
Like that poor lady from 2013.
God. She'll live in Blair's head rent-free now.
It's because I'm a nurse. That's why.
I get it.
All right. Where were we? Oh, you don't like the sound of your own voice because of the bones in your head. This may be because the bones in our head make our voice sound deeper. So like when I go back and listen to the pod, I definitely sound more high pitched than I thought I did, which is fine. Whatever. It's not super annoying in my opinion.
It's so high pitch.
It's not really.
It's not. A rainbow on Venus is called a glory. Appearing as a series of colored concentric rings, these are caused by the interference of light waves within droplets, like any other rainbow, rather than the reflection, refraction, or dispersion of light that makes a rainbow. So there you go.
Cool. Protons look like peanuts, rugby balls, bagels, and spheres. Protons come in all different shapes and sizes, and with their appearance changing based on the speed of the smaller particles within them, which are called quarks.
Quark.
Yeah.
It's like a duck that had like a head trauma issue. Quark, quark.
Oh my God.
Mirrors facing each other don't produce infinite reflections. Each reflection will be darker than the last and eventually fade into invisibility. Mirrors absorb a fraction of the energy of the light striking them, and the total number of reflection mirrors can produce a few hundred. That's a lot.
That's trippy. And I really don't want to know how they figured that out.
I don't want to know either. It's creepy enough just looking in a mirror. I don't like looking in mirrors at nights. At nights?
Yeah.
Mirrors at nights. At night. Taking out the trash.
At night.
That's a second SpongeBob reference.
There might be a cure for evil, quote unquote. Well, the cure for psychopathy, anyway.
Great.
Psychologists argue that aspects of psychopathy can be cured, quote unquote, by cognitive behavioral therapy. Which is said to reduce violent offenses by those who are in the condition. Primarily, research suggests that computer-based cognitive training could help a psychopath experience empathy and regret.
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 You're gonna regret it.
So that I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway.
Right, yeah. All mammals get goosebumps, which is cute. When your hair stands on end, tiny muscles contract at each hair's base, which distorts the skin to create goosebumps. This is called piloerection and is present in all mammals. Hair or fur is used to entrap an insulation air layer. So when humans do it, even though we're not as hairy anymore, it's still our body trying to push out all those hairs and create a layer to keep us warm. But there's nothing to keep us warm.
That's correct.
Sad.
Also, side note, in Hawaii, the term for goosebumps is chicken skin.
Ooh, there's also, I don't know who says it, but there's also goose pimples.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
It's great.
Football players spit so much because exercise increases the amount of protein in saliva. When you exercise, the amount of protein secreted into the saliva increases. A protein mucus called MUC5B makes your saliva thicker when you're exercising and makes it more difficult to swallow, so we tend to spit more. It may occur during exercise because we breathe through our mouths more. And honestly, I hate it when athletes like spit. It makes me, it grosses me out. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I
get it, but
I also get why they flush their mouth out and then spit the water out, but I don't need to see that. Can we keep that off camera, please?
That's what I'm saying. Honestly, like and this is just like a personal, as a nurse, there are certain bodily fluids that you don't like.
Yes.
I hate saliva. I can do blood. I can do poop. I hate saliva and anything that has to do with your mouth.
Yeah.
It's nasty. Yeah. It is nasty.
That's why you're not a dentist.
That's why I'm not a dentist. Exactly.
No, anyway. Makes sense.
You know that fish in Finding Nemo that's like the human mouth is a disgusting place? Could not have related to him more.
He knew what he was talking about. Some animals display autistic-like traits. Autistic traits in animals include a tendency toward repetitive behavior and atypical social habits. So that's exciting. She's gotta eat her chippies.
They're good chippies. Okay. The biggest butterfly in the world has a 31 centimeter wingspan. It belongs to Queen Alexandra's birdwing butterfly, which you can find in the forest of the Oro province, which is in the east of Papua New Guinea.
Nice.
Yeah.
I do love butterflies. You remember more dreams when you sleep poorly. Research suggests that if you sleep real bad and you wake up multiple times, you'll actually be more likely to recall the content of the dreams you had and are also more likely to remember a dream when woken from one.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my dreams are weird. Like last night, I dreamt that my dad and my stepmom and a couple of her sisters and I were all sitting in a room singing Christmas carols together.
Cute.
Random.
Very random. All right, Salem, don't eat my sandwich, okay?
Salem, we're trying to go through facts here.
I need my sandwich to not be cat sniffed. Okay.
Get your tail out of my yogurt.
Yogurt. No, exactly. You could sweat when you're anxious to alert others. One theory suggests we have evolved to sweat while anxious to alert the brains of other people around us so they are primed for whatever it is that's making us anxious. Brain scans have revealed that when you sniff the sweat of a panic-induced person, regions of your brain that handle emotional and social signals light up. When you're anxious, your sympathetic nervous system releases hormones, including adrenaline, which activates your sweat glands.
I think that's a reason to believe that we can 100% and like when someone genuinely feels how you feel, it's probably because they genuinely can feel what you're excreting.
Pheromones.
Yes.
Ew. Interesting.
Also, don't sweat on people. Gross.
It's not preferable.
No. We're back to lightning, except this time we're talking about the lightning itself instead of it striking down families of giraffes. Lightning bolts are 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun.
So violent over there.
It was the first couple of facts. It's not my fault.
Okay, Salem, seriously, do not eat my sandwich. You
Delicious.
Oh
Share.
my God.
What?
He's like eating the
son?
paper that it's wrapped in. And I'm like,
Oh.
sir.
That's Cougar completely. She loves to eat paper.
Go ahead.
Okay, the charge carried by the lightning bolt is so intense that it has a temperature of about 30,000 degrees Celsius or 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Shocking.
Even more shocking. The
Mhm.
longest anyone has held their breath underwater is over 24.5 minutes.
Ooh, they
The
can play
world
mermaids
record
so good.
the The world record for breath holding underwater was achieved by Croatian Brudmir Sobat on the 27th of March in 2021, who held his breath for a total of 23 minutes and 37 seconds. On average, a human can hold their breath between 30 and 90 seconds.
I don't even know if I could do it for 30 seconds.
I don't know. When I was in swimming shape, probably.
Yeah,
I could do like a minute maybe, but like
I've never
it.
been in the shape of swimming, so probably I cannot.
You're right.
I feel like these facts are less fun and more existentially crisis inducing.
As we keep going.
Yeah, because this one says the moon is shrinking, but only very slightly. It is shrinking in general about 50 meters or 164 feet in radius, specifically over the last several hundred million years. So it's taken a while. Mysterious seismic activity known as moonquakes could be blamed, and I think that should be a new cereal.
Moonquakes.
I would 100% eat moonquakes. Also, the distance between the Earth and the moon is increasing.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not long before the moon has divorced itself from us because the gravitational pull can't get any stronger.
I'm not going to talk custody battles or legality here. I just don't know their relationship like that.
You're right. You're right. That's none of our business.
Mm-mm.
Dogs tilt their head when you speak to them to better pinpoint familiar words. Your dog is tilting its head when you speak to it to pinpoint where noises are coming from more quickly. This is done to listen out more accurately for familiar words such as walkies and helps them to better understand the tone of your voice. If a dog doesn't tilt its head that often, it's because it relies on sound and less on sound and more on sight.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair. If the Earth doubled in size, trees would immediately fall over, which is so random. I don't know why we're investigating this specifically, but apparently this is because the surface gravity would be doubled, and it would also mean dog size and larger animals would not be able to run without breaking their legs. I don't want to know these things.
You know what? That's for some physicists to figure out. I can't.
Not interested.
Mercury, not Venus, is the closest planet to Earth on average. On average, Mercury is 1.04 astronomical units away from Earth compared to the 1.14 astronomical units average between the distance of Earth and Venus. 1 AU is equal to the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. Venus still comes closest to Earth as it is part of its orbit around the Sun, however. So that's why it's like because they're all moving in revolutions around the Sun. So it's just that pattern.
Yes.
That
and
makes
as we
it
talked
different.
about, it's also not necessarily all circular. Some of them
Correct.
are ovular.
Right.
And sometimes it changes shape. So
right.
It makes a lot of sense. What else makes a lot of sense, which I think I knew this fact, and I feel like a lot of people do know this fact, but maybe they don't. Flamingos are not born pink. They actually come into the world kind of gray or white in their feathers, and in fact develop the pinkish hue after starting the diet of brine shrimp, which are also pink, and blue-green algae. So if you know why shrimp are pink, you know why flamingos are pink. It's because of a specific algae or bacterium that causes that coloration. I forget which one. Yeah.
Cool.
I think salmon too, actually. If I'm not mistaken. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought it was like a protein.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's something
Okay.
in their diet that causes it.
Yeah.
It's like if you put a flower, that carnation, in a glass with food coloring, the petals
Yeah.
will change color because it's absorbing the color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can smell ants. Many species of ants release a strong smelling chemical when they're angry, threatened, or being squished. Trap jaw ants release a chocolatey smell when annoyed, while citronella ants earn their name from the lemony odor they give off.
What kind of smell do your ants have?
Honestly, I have no idea.
You should smell your ants more.
I should. You're right.
Oh, extra fact though, the reason why they say not to squish ants is because of this fact. Apparently they can sense when their brethren have been dead.
Yes.
And they will come and find them and find you.
Yes.
And attract more.
Well, and that's why we've seen a lot of like scouter ants after we've gotten rid of a lot. And so we try to get rid of the scouter ants first. And then that way the other ones can't like find us. It's a whole
trail.
We're very much invested in ant psychology. Like it's a mess.
I love it for you. All right. People who eat whatever they want and stay slim have a slow metabolism, not fast. A skinny person tends to have less muscle mass than others, meaning that their basal metabolic rate, which is BMR, is lower than those of high muscle mass. This gives them a slow metabolism overall, not a fast one. So it's actually the opposite of what you might think.
Fine.
Fine.
Earth is 4.54 billion years old. Using radiometric dating, scientists have discovered that the Earth is 4.54 billion years old, give or take 50 million years. No big deal. This makes our planet half the age of the Milky Way galaxy, which is 11 to 13 billion years old, and around a third of the age of the universe, which is 10 to 15 billion years old.
Lovely.
That is all.
Electrons might live forever. Scientists have estimated the minimum lifetime of the electron is about 6.6 times 1,028 years, which is 66,000 yada years, which is such an interesting unit of measurements. It feels made up, but I'm assuming it's not. Since this is about 5 quintillion times the age of the universe, which we just talked about, to be 10 to 15 billion years old, even if electrons don't live forever, they may as well, because they always out there, and
they be out there.
They be out there, and I think that's why we're all made of stardust and electrons.
All right. Beavers don't actually live in dams. Technically, beavers live in a lodge that they build behind the dam with a deep pool of water.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the average dinosaur lifespan was surprisingly small. The T-Rex, for example, reached full size between 16 to 22 years old and lived up until 27 to 33. The largest dinosaur, specifically the Brontosaurus and the Diplodocus, tended to live up to 39 to 53 years old and maybe reaching heights of 70. Maybe.
Cute.
Yeah, but I'm assuming since those dinosaurs were big, their time went really fast, which is great.
Yep. Someone left a family photo on the moon. When Apollo 16 astronaut Charles Duke landed on the moon in 1972, he decided to leave behind a photo of him and his 2 sons and his wife. The photo remains on the moon to this day.
I kind of feel like that's just very...
It's not your living room, sir.
No, it's very American. Just leave it. It rains methane on Saturn's largest moon, which is one of Blair's favorite facts. When different chemicals have non-liquid states. Titan is the only moon in our solar system with a dense atmosphere and the only body except Earth with liquid rivers, lakes, and seas fed by rainfall. Except the rainfall isn't water, it's Blair's other favorite, liquid methane.
I don't like it.
I know you
just
don't.
for the people.
For the people.
I don't like it when elements take different forms than what they take on Earth.
If anyone's
methane
curious,
is a gas.
I was going to say
should not be a liquid.
Except on Saturn, in which case it's made entirely of waterfalls.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't like it.
Mm. Mm.
All right. Giraffes hum to
We're back to
communicate
giraffes.
with each other. It is thought that the low frequency humming could be a form of a contact call between individuals who have been separated from their herd, helping them find each other in the dark. Some researchers think they sleep talk as well.
They just hmm.
Hmm.
I don't know what I just said in giraffe, but hopefully I didn't cuss you out. That would be really sad.
So rude.
Glass sponges can live for 15,000 years. I don't know what a glass sponge is. This makes them one of the longest living organisms on Earth, outside of the immortal jellyfish, which could, in fact, theoretically live forever, but scientists aren't sure.
Wow.
Wow. Lobsters can live, well, unless they're farmed, but like lobsters, they shed and they could technically just keep molting.
Right.
But that's also neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you see the cat?
I do. So cute.
He has, I think, finished eating, and he is now having a bath on my desk.
Good. Good. It is bath time. You have 50% chance of sharing a birthday with a friend. In any group of 23 people. I don't know 23 people. Who do these people think I am?
Best
anyway,
friends.
2 people will share a birthday according to the math.
That says maths.
According to the maths. To find the probability of everyone in the group having a unique birthday, multiply all 23 probabilities together, giving 0.493. So that the probability of a shared birthday is 1 and 0.493, which equals 0.5 or 50%, 50.7%.
We don't do math here. Or
no.
maths.
No.
Gross.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're a twin, this might be helpful. Murder rates rise in the summer, but you can't frame your twin still. That's still not
like,
allowed.
What? That is not the fact. And then she's like, murder rates. It's so true, though. I worked in the ER. 1,000%.
Gross. Ever feel angry or in a bad mood when the weather is hot? Apparently, you're not alone. Violent crimes go up in hotter weather, and in the US, murder rates reportedly rise by 2.7% over the summer. So be careful.
Yeah. And also, I think heart attacks increase over the summer because it's so hot.
Yeah.
People just like get too warm and their body just can't handle it.
They don't be drinking enough electrolytes.
Water.
Yeah.
New car smell is a mix of over 200 chemicals.
Jeez. It's
These include the sickly sweet toxic hydrocarbons, benzene, and toluene. So if you like those smells, just know that it's not good for you.
Take a big whiff.
Congrats.
All right. Sea level isn't actually level. As the strength of the force generated by the Earth's spin is strongest at the equator, the average sea level bulges outward there, putting it further from the center of the Earth than at the poles. Differences in the strength of the Earth's gravity at different points also can cause the variation. So gravity is not created equal, I guess. I don't know.
This next fact. You inhale 50 potentially harmful bacteria every time you breathe. Thankfully, your immune system is working hard all the time. So virtually all of these are promptly destroyed without you feeling a thing. Phew.
This article's wild.
Just in case you were a hypochondriac and didn't think that breathing was a bad thing.
You're covered in it, so don't worry about it.
Also, you have all those hairs in your nose, and they help make sure the bacteria don't get into your system.
It's true. Very true. You can see stars as they were 4,000 years ago with the naked eye. Clothe your eyes, everyone. Without a telescope, all the stars we can see lie within 4,000 light years of us. That means at most you're seeing stars as they were 4,000 years ago, around when the pyramids were being built in Egypt. Time travel.
So if you were to clothe your eye, does that mean you're just looking through binoculars?
Do contacts count?
Oh, that's true.
Do glasses count? I don't know.
Maybe.
Clothe your corneas, everyone.
All right. Plants came before seeds. According to the fossil record, early plants resembled moss and reproduced with single-celled spores. Multicellular seeds didn't evolve for another 150 million years.
I feel like that's a nice chicken and the egg kind of question. I like it.
Totally. That's a trivia question at a bar.
For sure.
Yep.
Our dead cells are eaten by other cells in our body, which I kind of feel like we already talked about.
We definitely already talked about. It's good that we had an extra fact in here because I feel like this is the same fact.
Because they're the phagocytes. So I feel like that kind of doesn't count. Basically, white blood cells, they digest your yucky gray matter. So
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I can't even. Never mind. Anyway.
Don't worry about
it. Smells can pass through liquid. Please don't try smelling underwater. Your nose will not appreciate it.
You cannot breathe underwater.
But smell does protrude through liquid.
I believe that because that's when I know I need to wash my water bottle. Anyway. Bats aren't blind. Despite the famous idiom, bats can indeed see. And if you don't know the idiom, it's blind as a bat. They still use their echolocation to find prey, but they can, in fact, still use their eye holes to see things.
Pine trees can tell if it's about to rain. Next time you see a pine cone, take a close look. If it's closed, that's because the air is humid, which can indicate there's a rainstorm almost about to happen.
I was hoping that the pine cone would just kind of whisper in my ear, "It's about to rain." That's what I really hoped the fact was. I can't hear you because your mic is so good. You $20 rude Amazon mic.
No, never mind. But like I was gonna say, do the weathermen know about these things? Because I feel like they should know about this.
They're just out there talking to trees all day.
Right.
Bro, just give me a hint. Anything. You cannot fold a piece of A4 paper more than 8 times. As the number of layers doubles each time, the paper rapidly gets too thick with 2 C's and too small to fold. The current world paper folding record belongs to California high school student Brittany Gallivan, who in 2002 did manage to fold a 1.2 kilometer long piece of tissue paper 12 times.
Can we talk about how, of course, this is happening in high school?
I mean, there's not much you can do in high school. Who's studying, you know?
Literally no one.
Gotta build those cootie catchers.
Right. Right. Well, one of my coworkers, she made one the other day and she was going around to everyone and like each flap was like, "You owe Amelia $5." And then she like put it away. She's like, "That's what it said."
The other thing I really enjoyed was MASH. I loved playing MASH.
Yes.
So good.
So good.
It was Mary.
So I thought
something house.
So the
occupation. No.
I thought MASH was like the type of house you're going to get. So like mansion, apartment,
shack
house.
Yeah. But it was
then the categories were like person, I don't know what the other ones were.
Yeah. And then you had to pick a number and you count each one. Like if it was
and it
MASH,
crosses it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
That's what we're doing in high school, y'all.
Yep. Laughing came before language. How do we know? Some researchers tickled baby apes, which beyond being adorable, showed that they share the same structure as ours and are likely arose in our common ancestors millions of years ago, and language came much later, which makes sense.
I heard laughter was more of a fear response than it was a happy response, apparently. Yeah. See,
Unclear.
This is why you love this podcast, because you're getting more than just the facts we're reading to you. Because we have big brains.
You're getting some side thoughts that maybe we haven't fully formed to know.
Don't worry
yet,
about it.
But something that you can research later if you really feel like you want to.
That's our motto.
Yep.
And then we're going to round out today with our final fact, which is also applicable to brains, because your brain burns 400 to 500 calories every day. It's working
Every day.
hard. And for those of us with anxiety, double that. That's about a fifth of your total energy requirements because you're always overthinking. Most of this is concerned with the largely automatic process of controlling your muscles and processing sensory input, like you're probably doing now because you're listening to us somehow still.
Yep.
And although some studies show solving tricky problems increases your brain's metabolic requirements too. So that's
Cute.
I feel like that's great. Your brains have been stimulated. You're working hard. You're burning the calories. You parelled during the break. So you've lost like at least a pound at this point.
I'm working late.
Because I'm a singer.
Because I'm a singer.
Okay, well,
He
we're
looks so cute.
okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Clearly, we have listened to the Sabrina Carpenter album.
All right. Have you seen the Christmas special that she put on Netflix? Because it's really funny. You would like it.
I haven't, but I have heard some of the songs and they are really good.
It's very fun. Anyway.
What else?
All right,
is
guys.
fun?
So
this has been great.
We would like to thank you for listening
Yes.
to us for 100 episodes. It's
Whew.
been very difficult, I'm sure, but we have made it this far and we appreciate you being here to make it this far with us.
And start year 3 with us, which is
Yes.
also hard to believe. We are also starting year 3 with something new that Blair has been meticulously curating out of the love for you guys and the love of gabbing around.
Yeah, I just like talking to Kirsten. It's a problem, but it is what it is.
I mean, I'm a problem, so it kind of fits. As always, thank you for listening. Please continue listening. And if you want to hear something in the future, topics, ideas of what if you want to know more about giraffes and lightning and their relationship together, let us know. You can drop that to us in our Gmail, mediocrecontentpodcast@gmail.com. We made it super easy to find us. Additionally, Instagram and ye olde TikTok. And potentially a little glimmer of hope for YouTube in the coming month for Blair's new special. So be excited that we're getting all dolled up for you. You're welcome.
Indeed.
Welcome. Be appreciative. Please continue to rate us 5 stars. We always appreciate it. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And we'll see you guys next week.
This has been Mediocre Content.
Thanks so much for listening. Cheers.
Cheers.